All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Blue Devil Sports Network. Sorry for the little delay in the start. We were waiting for a judge. They were at another site. A judge has arrived, so we're going to get started. In this first group, starting at 4, we have Hartford, Bronson, and Quincy kicking off. And today, for our districts, we have our commentator, Kim, on site with us. Michaela couldn't be here. So, Kim, how are you today?
I am doing great. This is my second meet of the day, so looking forward to it.
Yes. And Kim is a longtime coach, friends with our Lawton coach as well. So, looks like Richter's on the mic, and we're going to get started here shortly.
It's game time. Time for both teams to give us their best effort on the field and for everyone, players, coaches, and fans to give us their best sportsmanship. Remember, nothing beats good sportsmanship. The privilege of this game is made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedom we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts in our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your caps. Active and retired military, I urge you to render the appropriate salute, and everyone able, please stand at attention and place their hand on your heart as we proudly sing our national anthem. And now, let's meet our teams competing in Session 1. First, we have the Bronson Vikings. Next, we have our Indians. And finally, we have the Quincy Orioles. Good luck, ladies.
All right, Kim, so as we get ready to kick off here, some people are, like myself, I learned a lot the last live stream we did of competitive cheer. There's 3 rounds. Our
There
first
is.
round will start with Hartford, Bronson, then Quincy.
Yep.
And then the first round is, to refresh our memory here, the first round is all about what?
The first round is all about how well the girls can perform a cheer together. It's not, the second round is more of the precision round. This one they get to use jumps, they can use kicks, they can use a variety of different motions to do the round. They are not allowed to do any type of tumbling or any type of stunting or pyramid building. And Hartford is ready to get started now.
Girls,
nice job there by the Hartford Indians on their routine. They're very strong, powerful voices out there.
Yeah.
It's part of round one. One thing that is required is that all the teams have to do 2 different jumps. They need to be different. They can't do the same one both times. So that is a big part of the round for the round one, as well as doing. It's called difficulty and variety. So it's a matter of different skills. Or I'm sorry, it's variety for round one. The different variety of skills that they need to do to earn certain scores on one category. So you'll see a lot of such as diagonals, blades where the hands are not tight, but they're kind of out flat. The kicks is part of that. Additional floor movement. There's a certain amount of times the girls have to move in order to maximize their score. If they move additional to that, that's another way to add to their variety.
Quincy, you are on deck. Bronson, you may take the mat and begin when ready.
Some nice choreography there from Bronson. They really seem to enjoy what they're doing out there on the mat. They have some really, really good, strong voices as well. It's really nice to see this, how strong and how loud some of the small teams can be.
Absolutely, and to the novice like myself, you just watch, and it's that round's kind of like you're talking about, like everyone in queue together,
Yep.
rolling through. So I thought that they did a great job. I didn't see many, arms together, steps together. Everything looked good. So.
Yep, you're definitely looking for arm placement. Are the angles the same? Are the steps the same? Do they walk at the same time? Do they move the same way, the same time? This one, they have a little bit more flexibility to do like different things, opposites. You see where one side will do something on the right and another side will do something on the left. But you'll see in round 2 especially, you can do that. But it is allowed here in this round. All right, and Quincy is approaching the mat now.
round one. We'll begin round two in 10 minutes.
Some nice strong rounds from all three of these teams. Very loud, very powerful. The interesting thing about some of these smaller Division 4 teams is that a lot of them include freshmen through seniors. So where traditional cheerleading oftentimes splits between a JV and a varsity team, you have the young girls on JV, you have the older girls on varsity. Some of these schools, some of these girls have never cheered before. It's their first time ever doing this.
Yeah, and it's the other thing we talked about too is last time with the shortened season, right? You have a lot of time to normally get that precision down, get your, as Michaela talked about, especially round 3, all the tumbling and everything. It's hard. It's
It
hard
is.
for these girls, especially with the shortened season, to really get all this stuff nailed down. So,
Yep.
absolutely.
One of the things that I think that I'm speaking for everybody saying that's been a little bit challenging is the fact that we miss so much time with conditioning. So the girls have really had to come forward and push through on things that they would have otherwise been fully conditioned for, and they just didn't have the time to do it completely. You know, especially if you have a kid out for a week or two due to quarantine, they're already starting to lose some of the conditioning they do have.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing too, cheer, right? My smiling, my facial expressions, and that is now all hidden with a mask. So some of those finer points and things where you can really stand out gets hidden in just the way it is now. So
Yeah, and I could foresee that being a bit of a challenge when we do get to remove the masks, to reteaching the girls to smile and have the strong facials again. You could definitely see it in some of the girls where they really use their eyes and their heads a little bit to try and get some of that in there. But it's definitely a challenge. You know, they're trying to breathe through masks. They're trying to yell. It's harder to be louder, and just that lack of conditioning at the time they didn't have to do the conditioning.
absolutely. So we will be posting some scores up as they come in. It takes time. So we have about 10 minutes until round 2. So we will be back, and as scores come, we'll definitely share those on the screen. So we will return. All right, so quick update. I don't know if you've heard Richter, but we actually have them updated on the website. So looks like Quincy is in the lead with a 195. Then followed by Bronson with 188.7, and then Hartford with a 188.6. So rolling into round two, Kim, it's different now, right?
Yes.
So what is round two all about?
Round 2 is the precision round. There's a 10 count. The first 10 motions of the round 2, you'll notice from all teams, are going to be the same. And then you'll see 5 skills. They need to have 1 jump. They need to show 1 skill that's a flexibility. And then they need to show 1 skill that is some type of tumbling skill. The other 2 skills are optional. They can do whatever they want. They can have a maximum of difficulty of what is referred to as a 5.8. So they have to choose their skills based on how many points each skill is worth. And then it depends on how well they do them as far as what they score.
Gotcha. And then there's a girl limit, correct, on round two?
Yes. For the Division 4, the teams can only have a maximum of 6 on the floor. If they go under, it's a penalty. If it goes over, it actually voids the round. And starting off here with Bronson. Another nice round by Bronson. Bronson is coached by Sarah Collins. Sarah's in her 3rd year with the Viking team. Their skills round off toe touch jump, a hurdler jump, a 1-arm cartwheel, and a heel stretch.
Then Quincy will take the mat next. You know, it's funny we talk about the masks and that, but you definitely see some of the girls with the head snap and trying to really portray their voice.
I definitely see a few mask issues too.
Quincy's crowd right in front of us, definitely into the match here.
One other thing they're required to do with this round is they have to start in what is referred to as a stagger pattern. So 2 lines, depending on how many girls are on the mat. So with the smaller teams, they have to be in 2 lines.
Ready, go!
Okay, so toe touch switch splits. That means they did both right and left switch splits. The back walkover is one of the skills that's a little bit more difficult, so that is what is referred to as a 1.2 multiplier. So whatever they get on that, so for instance, if they were to get a 9 on that skill, it would be multiplied by 1.2, so they get a little bonus for a little bit higher skill level. Then they did a heel stretch. Beautiful save by the one girl in the heel stretch. She really started to fall out of that a little bit, and she really nailed that one. And a herky was their final skill. Hartford taking the mat now.
Here we go. Ready? Harper! Better than before. 3 and 1. Let's rock. This floor. 1 step above the rest. Let's go. 8 back to attack. Prepare to fight. Let's go. 3 and 1. Harvard Varsity. #1 team. We want to own this floor. Let's go. 3. Don't lose it. Harvard cheer. Let's prove it.
Thank you, Hartford. That concludes round 2. We will begin round 3 in 10 minutes.
All right, Kim. So that completes round 2. What about Hartford there? What you see?
Hartford, they started strong with a toe touch, or they did a round off. They had switch splits, a heel stretch, and a one-arm cartwheel. Again, when we talked in the beginning about how they needed to do at least one jump, one flexibility skill, that would be their heel stretch, and then one gymnastics move. So that was the round off for the one-arm cartwheel, both considered the gymnastics moves in there. Tumbling skills of some kind. All 3 teams doing a great job. All 3 extremely strong with their voices. Of course, we'll have to wait fully for results until after the next session goes, so we won't know. We'll know how well these 3 do, but we won't know the final results until after the next session, because it is a competition with all of the 7 teams involved.
Absolutely. So we will return for round 3 in about 10 minutes, and we'll see you back soon.
the mat and begin when ready.
All right, Quincy getting ready to approach the mat for round 3. Round 3 is significantly different from the other rounds. This is the round where you'll really see what most people think of more when they think of cheerleading. They'll see stunting and tumbling. One difference this year is the girls are no longer allowed to do pyramids, so they can do individual stunt group where 4 or so girls will do something together, but the whole thing can't be together. And nice job, Quincy. They are coached. The Quincy girls are coached by Kim Miller and Carrie Preston. They're in their 3rd year with the team. Great job overall here at Districts for them.
We will have Hartford on the mat next. I don't know if we mentioned, but Lawrence did have to drop out this morning. Normally we would have 4 teams in each group, but just 3 in this group so far this afternoon. So we'll have Hartford next, and then Bronson will close out the show.
Hartford is coached by Brianna Johnson. She's done a fabulous job with the girls. This is her 1st year as head coach with the team. Generally, round 3 takes a touch bit longer for the judges to get through. It's a much more involved round between all of the tumbling and the stunting. You see that we'll have the judges sitting at the tables in front. Those are panel judges. The 2 judges standing. Those are our safety judges. It's their job to make sure that the girls are doing things according to the rules. So they don't actually score the girls. They just make sure that they follow along with everything that they should be doing. And then if there is some type of penalty, that generally comes from them.
Oh!
Hartford finishing up their season. Finishing up their regular season. We'll have to wait and see how the scores play out. Not that I am anticipating anything. Hartford did a really nice job. There may be a small penalty on them. I'm a little concerned about that. But they were very solid with most of their stunting there. Bronson is about to take the mat to finish up the first session today. Again, we'll wait for the judges.
Bronson, you may take the mat. The meeting will ready.
Ready, set, are you ready? Beat down cheer. Is that again? No time for fear. It's our year. Bring the heat. We've got that spark. Lady by beat. Doing our part. Fire up hands. Up in the hands. Down. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Do it again. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Spirit on fire. Straight down to the core. United we stand. To fight we go. Fighting girls, bring it home.
Thank you, Bronson. After the rules on three, final scores will be announced momentarily.
All right, Kim. So that wraps up session A. So far this morning, they'll tabulate the scores. We'll get those posted here. So, Bronson, get a chance to talk about them. What did you see there on their last performance?
They have, for a smaller team, they have some really nice choreography going on. The little box stands where the girls are on their knees and then the flyers step up. There's very creative use to get some nice solid points in there, depending on how many skills and different stunts that the teams do. Helps build up their points for that round, help them score higher. This year has been so different. So many of the teams have not been able to work towards some of the more advanced skills. So they've gotten very creative with the use of the lower level skills, and they've done it fabulously. So just overall, all three teams, really nice job today. They should all be able to walk off this pretty proud.
Absolutely. So once we get those the final scores posted for this first session, we'll put those up on the the live stream. We'll keep the live stream going. I mean, we start at 6. It's an hour and 15 minutes away, but we'll just keep it going. So if you're tuned in, just let it run at home. Leave it on the TV, go make a sandwich or a snack, and then come on back by 6. And we'll return for our session B, which we will have Maple Valley, Bloomingdale, Lawton, and Delton Kellogg in that session. So
And those teams, I believe, are just starting to begin to roll in as we see some of the other teams starting to roll out. We'll have the mats sanitized and everything cleaned up as we switch.
Wonderful world of COVID, right?
The wonderful world of COVID,
Yep.
yes.
And we talked about that in the last meet. You know, I mean, part of the whole competitive cheer atmosphere is the other girls sitting around cheering for you. It is. It's a sisterhood.
is.
It's a camaraderie. So
It's very unique. People who have never been to a meet before and they come for the first time are always shocked to say, we've had that question before when I coach, when I've been around the other teams, why do you cheer for the other teams? Well, it's what we do.
Yeah,
We are there to encourage each other, and we want to beat you because we're better than you. We don't want to beat you because you failed.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
want you to be better. We want to build each other up and to support each other, and it's a very unique sport for that matter. It's also unique in the idea that just about anybody can do it. You know, you don't have to be the best tumbler or things like that. There's generally a place for everybody on the team, and it makes it really very special.
Absolutely. So yeah, to me that's one of the sad things about COVID. Like every sport has had its fallback, and for the competitive cheer, for the girls not to be able to bond and be together, and that's sad for me. So
Yeah, yeah, because there are definitely girls that just build lifelong friendships out of teams that they compete against.
absolutely.
You see that happen over and over again. But we will always count our blessings that we still get to be here and we get to do this, and we're so grateful to have a season where so many people didn't.
Absolutely. So as those final scores come, we will get those posted. Tune back in about 6 p.m. Well, probably 5:55. I'm going to go a little early. So, but we will be back for our session B, and thanks for tuning in.
We want the win. Blue and white. We spell circle. Never back down. It's our time. We won't give up. Never again. Out is out. Fight for the lead. Never stop. We will
doesn't go down, it goes up in my eyes. Because he had 626 and 24. Oh, gotcha. Yep. Yeah, I would think so too.
Lori, you tell my mom how to get on?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yep.
Watch lots of
Yeah, it's Blue Devil Sports Network on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah. Yep. Honey, do it for me. Honey.
She says I'm her third child, Mike. Every day.
I think all of us are our wife's third child. Blue Devil Sports Network.
So Mike's talking, I want to hear people new talking.
I'm like, they traded it right there. So what do you think?
Who was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's, I think she's starting college.
How are you? Good, how are you? Good.
Hey, you want some football team?
A little bit too rusty.
Dude, you hear the cleaning that they have to do now with pole vaults and those high jumps? They either have to sanitize the top of the net, like after every jump, or each player has to have their own like landing pad that they put out and lay in it and then take it off. Richter was just telling me that, like, how in the hell are you gonna do that? Yeah, and then, right, if they, like, it's gonna eat up that stuff, like, it's just gonna eat it up. It's just gonna eat it all.
Brand new net.
Yep. Yeah, right? And then first shot in this, you have to now go get your own. Like before you have a teammate share it, you have to get your own. Right. And if you have to share with a teammate, you have to like sanitize it before. Like, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna take forever to do everything fast.
I wonder about that though, because when they share the pools and stuff too.
Right, but I'm like, are they sanitizing the ball after every battle?
Right.
Are they sanitizing the ball after every, you know what I mean? Come on. Right? That's huge.
Well, now
It's
they're
huge.
gonna start, is that what you expect? They have to start testing before every practice and everything?
I think it's weekly now.
Oh, but
Yes.
usually they practice every game. Oh my god.
It's weekly, and then I think before every, and then potentially before every event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and Riley, she's practicing for all this series because she has to go through all the training events.
Right.
She's so tight with
Yep.
especially with football. So now it's gonna take her a while because
Yep.
she's gonna end up coming all the way because she has to perform forever.
Drew came up today to raid people, and he's like, yeah, we're supposed to have a meet on the 31st.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and she hasn't been running yet
No.
because she's a new champ. She's like, I don't want to like do too much and then
Yep.
get too tight. Yeah, she's gonna be. She's just not been running.
Right.
Good evening, the Michigan High School Athletic Association welcomes you to Lafayette High School for tonight's district championship competition in the 2021 Division IV Girls Competitive Cheer Tournament. It's game time. Time for both teams to give us their best effort on the field and for everyone, players, coaches, and fans to give us their best sportsmanship. Remember, nothing beats good sportsmanship. The privilege of this game was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedom we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts in our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your hats, active
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning back in, or walking back to the TV. We left the stream up and going. For those just tuning in, we'll throw the scores up real quick. Quincy leads right now 626.4, followed by Bronson at 601.4, and Hartford at 562.7. As Maple Valley takes the mat for round one. All right, so if we bring Kim back in here, Kim, thoughts?
It is always tough when you have a smaller team. Maple Valley has 4 girls on their team, and they are hard workers. You can tell. They're unfortunately going to have a little bit of a deficit if you can't put the 6 out in round 2, which we will see from them later on. They'll only be able to put 4 out. That does start them a little bit behind. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But strong start. Nice start by Maple Valley.
Well, it looks like we will have Bloomingdale to the mat next.
Looks like Bloomingdale is also going with 4 girls on the mat. They also a little bit smaller team. We didn't see this in the first session. But in round 2, you have your mandated numbers, as we discussed before. For the Division 4, the six girls are required to be in the round. If teams choose to go under or have to go under, in the case of Maple Valley, when they only have the 4 girls, then it is a 10-point penalty that they start with in that round, not in the other rounds.
Right.
But they also can only put that amount on the mat for the other rounds. So, for instance, if a team has 6 or 7 girls, they only put 4 out in round 2, then they have to put 4 in the other 2 rounds as well. They can't go any higher or lower.
Gotcha.
4 is the very minimum for any team to put on the mat for any round. For having a small team, 4 girls, they really used the mat nicely. They spread out throughout the mat, had a variety of different formations. Started towards the back, came forward. Very, very creative start to their round. We've got the hometown team coming up now. We can hear them in the background. They're getting themselves pumped up and excited. They're going to put a few more on the mat, looks like.
Down to the pedal on your own deck. Lot, you may take the mat when ready.
Strong performance from Lawton. Well experienced team. You can definitely see the experience level. And the funny thing is that that team is actually pretty young. Nice.
Yeah. I think one senior, one junior, right? That's it. The rest are-
I don't believe they have any juniors. I believe that's just one senior on that team. The rest are freshmen and sophomores.
All right. We'll have Dalton on the mat to finish out round one.
Down to the pedal, you may take the mat when you're ready. Thank you, Dr. Collins. That concludes round one. We will begin round two in roughly 10 minutes.
A nice solid ending there by DK. Good creativity in their round. If you notice, they had a crowd response. We haven't talked about that a few of the teams have had crowd responses where they yell something, they ask the crowd to respond. It's not required, but it's something that a lot of the teams enjoy because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
They-
And a little different now, now, right? With COVID,
Yeah.
limited participation. The other girls, normally the other cheer teams would also be in and would
Yes.
probably respond as well, right?
Yes.
And, yeah.
A
so-
lot of times the other teams are around and will respond. They're not always. Sometimes they're warming up and getting ready, but they have more fans. They have more people that yell back and support them. It's a little hard to act peppy and energetic when the entire gym is quiet.
Yes, yeah, sure. So yeah, when we come back for round two, it'll be Bloomingdale, Maple Valley, Delton Kellogg, and Lawton. That's about, I don't know if you could hear Mr. Richter, but that's probably about 10 minutes away. So as the scores get updated, we will update them on the screen as well.
Round one scores are as follows. Maple Valley, 168.1. Bloomingdale, 181.1. Lawton, 221.6. Delton Kellogg, 197.9.
Okay, that was Bloomingdale in round 2. Again, round 2, the first 10 motions that you see are the same from every team across the entire state of Michigan. That is the precision drill. They all have to do them the same. Then they have the ability to choose the 5 skills they're going to do with that, as long as one is a jump, one is a tumbling or gymnastics type of skill, and one shows some type of flexibility. For Bloomingdale, they did a toe touch, which would have been their jump. They also did a second jump to turkey. Their flexibility would have been their heel stretch, or where they grab their leg and they pull their leg up, or their switch splits. Switch splits is when the girls do both right and left. Switch splits is kind of unique. You have to enter at the same time. They have to go down at the same time. They have to go out at the same time. They have to turn at the same time. And they have to have they have to pick their hands up on both the right side and the left side, and then they actually have to come out of the skill at the same time. That's the whole score. It's all of that stuff. So
Yes.
it's a lot.
Very technical. Yes.
It is very technical. Maple Valley coming on the mat now, also with 4 girls on the mat. So we discussed this a little bit with the previous group, or in the first round. But teams that have less than 6, less than the required number, it's kind of nice. It gives the girls an opportunity to still be out on the mat, even if they're smaller. But you will see a 10-point penalty for both of those 2 teams, for Bloomingdale and Maple Valley both, because they do have less than 6 girls.
Yeah, that's tough. And when the scores are always so tight, 10 points is a lot. It's tough to overcome.
It is. It's doable. It can be overcome, definitely, but it does make things much tougher. And of course, at this district, there are 7 teams. 4 of them will advance to the regionals. So every point counts, definitely. We'll have to see how things work out.
All you are on deck, Del and Carla, you may take the mat and begin your ready.
So a couple of skills there that we've seen for the first time, I believe. We had a front walkover and the handstand forward roll. That's considered one skill.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one before.
It's not done very often, but obviously there are a few teams that do it. There tends to be a group of skills that most teams stick to. And occasionally you'll see some of the other skills, but for the most part you see a lot of the same thing with with the teams. A lot of these smaller schools don't have a lot of extra coaches and gymnastics help, and they can't necessarily afford to get some of the help that some of the bigger teams can afford to do.
Yeah, for sure. Here comes our hometown Blue Devils.
Strong performance to finish up round 2 there. Lawton with a couple of 1.2 skills, the back walkover and the front walkover, so that gives them a touch bit of an advantage going into the round, that they had some more difficult skills than some of the other teams did.
Yeah, you talked about that a little bit in the first session, the multipliers, right? The 1.2 gives you.
Yep.
If you pull it off well, it gives you a couple extra points for
Yeah,
sure. So.
yeah, definitely. And that's one of the things that as a coach you really have to think about. Do you want to put out some skills that maybe don't have the higher multiplier, that might be considered an easier skill, such as a switch split or a one-arm cartwheel, a round off? Those are 1-point multipliers. Or do you go for a skill that is a little bit more difficult, but maybe you don't do quite as well? You have to figure the math a little bit. So for anybody that thinks they don't need math, if you're going to coach, you need to know a little bit about math.
A little strategery, right?
It is. It's definitely, there's some strategy that goes into it. So as the girls are warming up, if you weren't with us earlier, I mentioned the judges. We've got some judges down in front of us. The ones sitting at the table, we've got the athletic director down there kind of running the meet. And then the judges seated are considered panel judges. They're the ones that score. So they are trained on what scores and the tenths to take off of certain things here and there. And then we have a couple of judges that you will see walking around. They are seated generally off to the side. Those are our safety judges. Our safety judges are responsible for making sure that the girls are doing everything safely. We have a set of rules that we need to follow. If, and things happen sometimes and girls don't, follow all the rules, or to make sure a judge or a coach maybe didn't miss a rule. Sometimes that happens. Like, oh, I didn't know that we couldn't do that. So it's their job to make sure, essentially, that we're staying safe. They are the ones that give out penalties. So if somebody does something that's not safe or something that's against the rules, then they have a sheet that they follow, and as far as handing out those penalties.
Yep.
it looks like we are on time to head towards round 3. So as we wait for those round 2 scores to come up, I think that's taking us to a break.
Yep, absolutely. We should be back in probably about 8 minutes or so with round 3. We'll come back. We'll have Dalton, Lawton, Bloomingdale, followed by Maple Valley. It's ultimately just to catch the, you know, the girls out there.
Round 2 scores and sub scores are as follows. Bloomingdale had a round 2 score of 151.2 for a subtotal of 332.3. Maple Valley had a second round score of 114.5 for a subtotal score of 282.6. Delton Kellogg had a round 2 score of 176.44 for a subtotal score of 374.34. Lawton had a round 2 score of 194.84, subtotal score of 416.44.
So after 2 rounds, they're like 40 points above the next closest team, which is Delta Kellogg. Quincy, Hartford, but Hartford did not declare victory, so they're going to be
take the mat and begin the run.
And Dalton Kellogg finishing up for the day. They had a nice round there. Their coach was phenomenal there with her comments and her coaching to the team. She really encouraged them to stay calm there. They had some really beautiful tumbling though. They had some great tumbling going on, some random back tucks and some aerials from a couple of the girls. They are coached by Zoe Reynolds and Samantha Munsell. They've been coaching 15 and 12 years, so they've been around for a while on that program.
Absolutely. And the coaching experience makes a difference, right?
It does. It can make all the difference. The girls will often, they really do follow the coach's lead. So as a coach, it's really critical that you are aware of that and that you do what you need to do to help the girls. I mean, I suppose that's the same in any sport, though.
Yeah.
Next up is going to be Lawton. And they are looking quite focused there in the back and getting ready to go. Coach is talking to them. They are coached by Holly James with assistance from her daughter Michaela, who is a Lawton cheerleading alumni. Holly's been coaching about 8 years now, and she does a great job with this program as well. One other kind of cool thing we've got going on, not only are we here in the Lawton gym, but the superintendent is helping out with the meet. That's a pretty cool thing to see.
Yep, absolutely. That small town life, right? Everybody comes out.
Not always. Not always. There's a lot of schools that don't always support their cheerleaders. wonderful job by the Lawton Blue Devils. They really want to defend that title, don't they?
It shows. It absolutely shows. Yes.
There's some really nice tumbling as well, well timed, and very clean.
You're normally a repeating district champion for a reason. So
That is true.
uh,
And with such a young team, it's a really impressive feat for them to come back as strong after losing the seniors that they lost last year. Up next is Bloomingdale. Bloomingdale is a smaller team, but they pack a powerful punch still. They are coached by Sarah Ashbrook. She is in her 7th year. We'll wait for the for the judges to finish scoring, and then they'll be taking the mat. As we were mentioning earlier, it is impressive to have the support of the school because not all schools get that. You know, cheerleading in its roots was a sport that supported the school. So to earn that respect is exceptional.
Ready, let's go! The time is now! VHS is back! Better than ever! When we hit the mat, we show no fear! Red, black, and white! Never stopping the fight! Pushing past the limits! Reaching for the top! Let's go right! Ready to fight! Ready to win! Work harder! Cheer stronger! Let's go white! Lady Cardinals, red is red! Pushing hard! Stay strong! Repeat as one! Bring the heat! Red on fire! We're back! We're better! Taking the lead! Now VHS! VHS! Now red, black, white! Red, black, now Cardinal Nation! Cardinal Nation!
Some nice creativity from Bloomingdale. They actually, if I counted correctly, used 3 of their 4 girls flying at one point in time. So they had a good variety of stuff going on. Again, when you're a smaller team, a lot of times you really have to kind of get creative with what you do. And they did a nice job with creativity on that routine for sure.
Right. You know, I want to go back to what you mentioned with the school support too. I mentioned this in the previous broadcast that we did when I was with Michaela. It drives me crazy. I hear a lot of people like, "Oh, it's cheerleading. It's competitive cheerleading. It's not really a sport. It's not." Really. That drives me nuts, and I touched on it because these girls pour their heart out. They work just as hard as any other sport in any other school, and sometimes I'm going to say harder, for sure. And they're competing, and it's all part of everything. It drives me crazy when they don't get the the props that they deserve. So I'm honored to be here and to be able to stream this for not just our Lawton Blue Devil girls, but for all the girls here today.
Well, as a former coach, I assist several teams now, but I appreciate your support. It is tough and it can be very tough, but we just have to do what we do and, not worry about the naysayers all the time.
Absolutely.
We've got Maple Valley up now, coached by Sarah Heisen. She's in her 11th year with the team. It's a smaller team again, so let's see what Maple Valley does today. A nice job by Maple Valley. They've got some really, really creative, fun words. They had a very confident finish. So, sometimes, like I said, with COVID and just not being able to do everything that we had time to do, they did a fabulous job. Cheer is a sport where you definitely can't throw everything together. It takes time and it takes patience and it takes lots of practice. And when you have somebody out or you have somebody quarantined, you can't just throw anybody in.
Here you talk about the precision and the other rounds and everything, and
Yep.
the timing, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. For sure.
It does. It's sometimes a little. I think some people would be shocked at the amount of time and effort and work it takes to get 3 rounds. Some of these teams make it look easy. They make the things that they do look so easy, and it's because they just have hundreds of hours of practice and conditioning and work in. And some of these girls are starting to get ready for their spring sports on top of that.
Yes.
And some of these girls are in other activities, so they're doing their practice with their high school team, and then they're going out and they're in some other club sport or team outside of the school, and all while trying to keep their grades up. But the interesting thing about athletics is the studies prove, though, kids that are in athletics have a higher GPA overall, grade point average, than in general than students who don't.
Yep, absolutely. And you're talking. This is small schools, right? These are small. These girls are going to do more than just do one sport most of the time.
Yes.
So yeah, I think first track meet is the 31st. So a lot of track athletes haven't even run anything yet. So
Yep.
Not sure how that's going to go, but
Busy girls. So as they're getting ready to announce the scores, each Each team is required to head to their own corner of the mat. They're not allowed to be in close contact. For warm-ups, they all had a section of mat assigned to them to eliminate cross-contamination. We've got we can see the custodian in there, maintenance staff in there cleaning it off already. He's back there spraying the mat off there from the other gym.
Yeah.
But it's all in an effort to protect these athletes and families from they were waving at the camera, from COVID as much as possible. There they are. There's our Lawton Blue Devils down there. They definitely rocked it today. Very nice job. So as I said, 4 of these teams will advance. The top 4 teams will advance. They will advance to the regional in Grand Rapids area. Right off the top of my head, I'm not sure what school it's at this year. But there are 3 different districts, and each district will send 4 teams to the regional. So there'll be 12 teams total at the regional. There'll be 2 separate regionals. Trying to get some of the other teams over here to wave out to everybody that's watching. So as I said, there's 4 divisions. There's Division 1, which are the large schools. Division 2 that are the big schools, such as like Madawana is a Division 2. Division 3, which would be Pawpaw is a Division 3, so kind of the medium-sized schools, and then you have Division 4, which are the small schools. So all of the different programs go to districts. From districts, the top 4 teams advance to regionals. So each division has 2 different regional competitions. So the top 4 teams here from Lawton will go to their regional in the Grand Rapids area with 12 other teams, as I mentioned. From that meet, which will happen on Tuesday, and then the top 4 teams from that meet will advance to the state finals, along with the top 4 teams from the east side of the state, and that will give us our 8 teams for all of the different divisions. State finals this year is going to be held at the Breslin Center in East Lansing. I believe that's coming up this weekend. They've changed, it's different due to COVID, so I'm not sure.
Everybody trying to rush to get in.
Yeah, exactly. But the state finals is quite an event. It's a pretty special place to be. But no matter what happens today, all of these teams should be super proud of themselves. It's been a tough year, and they have all persevered, and they have made it through. They've done well. We're still waiting for the last couple of scores to come up. They often hold out those round 3 scores until the very end so that the teams don't know where they've placed. So that's partially what we're waiting for and why we don't have results yet, is they will give them to us all at once. We see the athletic director walking towards the microphone now with the trophy and with what I believe are the results. We appreciate our scorers and all of our MHSAA judges that have been here with us today. They travel around a lot to a lot of these competitions to make this happen.
Before the presentation of the championship trophy, let's acknowledge these 5 teams for their achievements this year and their playing today.
All right, now we'll listen in with Chris as he announces the finals.
First, I will read the team scoring in reverse order. In 7th place, with 515.5 points, the Lions of Maple Valley. In 6th place, with 562.7 points, the In fifth place, with 574.6 points, the Cardinals of Bloomingdale. And now, here are the 4 teams advancing to this Tuesday's regional. In fourth place, with 601.4 points, the Vikings of Robinson. In third place, with 626.4 points, the Orioles of Quincy. In second place, with 626.54 points, the Panthers of Dublin. In first place, with 702.74 points, the Blue Devils of Omaha. Congratulations to Lawton, our Division 4 district champion. The Michigan High School Athletic Association and Lawton High School has enjoyed having you at today's competition. We look forward to having you as a guest at future events. Please drive carefully on your way home and have a great night. Thank you.
Okay, just in case anybody didn't hear that, the 4 teams advancing are Bronson, Quincy, Delton Kellogg, and the district champions, your hometown Lawton Blue Devils.
All right, I'd like to thank Kim for joining me today to talk me through all this. If you are a subscriber to the Blue Devil Sports Network, we will be back on Tuesday. We're going to be streaming, I believe, Hartford versus Bangor and Bloomingdale versus Gobles are the 2 games, and then the winner of those games will play Lawton or Waterville, depending. So tune back in next week. Thanks for joining today, and congratulations to our Lawton Blue Devil girls as district champions. And,
Let's keep them in mind on Tuesday also, as they will be competing at the regional competition.
Yes, I'm sure there's going to be a live stream somewhere for that, but I don't know where that's at.
Yeah,
but I bet
yeah,
you if you check on
definitely.
Facebook, we'll make sure we share that out. So thanks for joining.